to episode 18 of our 30 years in the making. We are at Wrestlemania 18, which is in Toronto at the Sky Dome, with an attendance of 68,237 people.
Wow.
And we kick off WrestleMania with Saliva performing the theme song for this WrestleMania, which is Saliva's Superstar. Then we get a video building up Mania with a major spotlight on this is the year in which Triple H come back from that big injury. So there's a huge spotlight on Triple H being back from the injury, and there's another huge spotlight on this being Hogan's first WrestleMania in 9 years. And then we go into the match. We get RVD defeating William Regal for the WWF Intercontinental Championship in 6 minutes and 19 seconds. This is Van Damme. He's very young, so we get quite a few good little moves we don't normally see nowadays. There's a standing moonsault quite early, and this is during the time in which William Regal was using the knuckle dusters to try and win the matches early, so we get to see that really early. But then it gets thrown to the outside. There's a Van Daminator and a missed frog splash, and also a rolling thunder onto the knees. William Regal gets busted open, and then he goes to the outside. He tries to grab the knuckle duster again, goes to use the knuckle duster, but the ref stops him. Then William Regal takes the knuckle duster out of the tights, but that's when Rob Van Dam hit him and hit the frog splash for the win. I don't know why William Regal even took a second lot of knuckle dusters out of the tights, because he didn't use them. Which this is going to be a common theme for this WrestleMania. I don't want to be a negative Nancy on this whole thing, but yeah. We go to the back, in which Christian is taking the mickey out of DDP.
I found it really funny.
Yeah, because at this point DDP is doing that "it's a good thing" sort of thing.
I know Christian does not do that. I think Christian was doing that a lot.
Yeah, it's a shame because this is Christian's quite funny, but this is during Christian's tantrum gimmick, which is never a good gimmick.
I didn't enjoy that at all. Obviously, I didn't get to see that to the end of the match, but
yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Christian fan, so
yeah.
Christian the wrestler fan, yeah. We then get a Rock promo in which the Rock starts to go through like Hulk Hogan's catchphrases, and then he gets coached to do like a prayer on the floor. And then this was when the Rock was doing the "what in the blue hell and you sick freak," and he just boots Coach off the scene. And then this was an okay promo until right at the end where Rock says, "What you gonna do?" and then he starts to rip the shirt whilst doing the "if you smell," which was really good. I really liked that bit. But I think you've got the Rock here who can be amazing on the mic. You don't need him to sort of steal Hogan's catchphrases for his interview. That's the only thing I sort of took away from it. He was trying his best to get Hogan's catchphrases in.
But how do we know how much input Hulk had on any of this?
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm willing to bet that Rock did. The Rock's promos are the Rock's promos, but come on, Rock, you're good by yourself. Don't be nicking other people's. Right, then we go into a man that I completely forgot, Maven, as the hardcore champion, fighting Goldust to a no contest in 3 minutes 15 seconds. Goldust comes out first and he has like a gold dumpster trash cans, ridiculous.
Spade.
Yeah, Goldust done the jump onto the guardrail from the apron, which was quite cool. But then this is when you see how like new Maven is, because Maven basically what it is the Tough Enough program, which is basically whoever wins gets a WWF contract, WWE contract. This is the first ever one, and Maven was like a teacher beforehand, so he'd never done any wrestling before this, and he won it, and then he was at WrestleMania, and you can tell that he's not been trained properly, and like he missed like a catapult into dumpsters, he missed a drop kick,
it was really bad,
it's
missed stuff.
Really obvious. Then they both hit each other with trash can lids, and then all of a sudden Spike Dudley comes in, runs in, and gets the hardcore title, and then runs off. There's a lot of these hardcore matches happening. I didn't write them all down because I got bored by them.
I don't know. I think because basically the standard of this WrestleMania is generally rock bottom. I quite enjoyed the fact that every now and then we'd just see someone running in, attacking somebody, they'd get it. It wasn't great, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we got like 4 or 5 different segments of this. You know, it was more laughing at the people involved than anything. It was it's just mindless filler. This whole WrestleMania, just mindless filler. Then we get Drowning Pool performing Tearaway to hype the main event, which didn't hype the main event because they didn't let us watch the fucking video. We had to watch them performing the song.
I did like how much live music there was in this WrestleMania, but it just bogged the whole thing out.
Yeah, it was it's a delay tactic, isn't it? It was filler. All of it was filler. Yeah. You had 2 bands, Saliva and Drowning Pool, and they were playing songs that they've never played before.
But they were entire songs, they weren't just bits and pieces.
Yeah, it was the whole song. And it's just, to have 2 bands perform like 4 or 5 songs between them in 4 hours for a wrestling event, you're just showing that you don't have a lot on at that time. Crash and Spike are fighting outside, and then Chipmunk here got her first opportunity to see the Hurricane, who came flying in and whoosh, and pinned Spike for the hardcore title before shooting off.
I like his cape.
He is actually his whole gimmick is all because he is a huge Green Lantern fan in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, and he designed his whole gimmick after Green Lantern.
It's like someone's trying to be like a superhero and they've just
Yeah, I mean, if you ever see his arm, he's actually got a Green Lantern tattoo. He's a huge Green Lantern. Did he last very long? I think he carried on until like 2003, 2004.
Did he actually get many matches?
He was Cruiserweight champion. There was actually, we're not going to get to 6, it's not a WrestleMania. I think 2004 wise, The Rock came back for a little while and he actually had a feud with The Rock.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a push.
Didn't really go anywhere, but he had a feud with The Rock, which was quite cool. We then get Kurt Angle defeating Kane in 10 minutes 45 seconds. Oh, it's all about that 1 second. Kane gets hit by Kurt Angle with the ring bell before the match. Then there's the 3 Germans, and Jerry Lawler during this whole match is just mentioning head trauma. The whole match. He would never do this today. It was just all head trauma.
I thought, I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong and you're going to completely disagree with me. Considering who was in this match, I still found it really quite boring.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't help that last year's WrestleMania you had that amazing match, Angle and Benoit, and then you had the really decent hardcore match with Kane. Yeah. And they've come into this match and it's just not...
But them individually, they should be really good to watch, but for some reason it was just a bit like...
Yeah, no, it was one of those matches that was just... basically, Kane goes for the chokeslam, but Angle counters and gets the 3 count. We then go into the streak match, which Undertaker defeats Ric Flair in 18 minutes and 47 seconds in a no-holds-barred match. There's a lot of fighting around the ring. Arn Anderson, who was part of the 4 Horsemen, comes out. But in the end, Undertaker hits the tombstone for the 3 count. We didn't really watch this match hugely. The same with the next 2 matches because we couldn't get a decent enough quality video for it, but we have sort of...
We've had problems with it, but we've seen...
Yeah. In the next match, Edge defeated Booker T in 6 minutes 32 seconds. Not a huge amount going into this match. It was more about how Booker T wasn't smart. That was the story coming in. Basically, Edge hits the Executioner for the win. That's it.
Got the Edge.
Yeah. Then I think we got Hurricane getting pinned by Mighty Molly for the hardcore title. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. And then we get Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Scott Hall in 9 minutes 51 seconds with Kevin Nash. In this match you see that Scott Hall is not in the best of states and Austin is not happy. Austin wins with the stunner, but this, for those of you that know, and obviously I know you don't know, not long after this, Brock Lesnar debuts and Stone Cold is booked to be beaten by Brock Lesnar just on a normal Raw. Austin doesn't like that, so Austin takes his ball and he goes home and quits the WWF. And
what?
Yeah, and actually, what goes around is Austin was really unhappy about this match at WrestleMania because he thought like they stunk the joint out, and he didn't want to work with Scott Hall because Scott Hall wasn't like ring ready and stuff like that, and he just didn't like where they were going with his character. So, yeah, not good. We then, I can't remember what it was before. Yeah, I think this was when Mighty Molly is running with the hardcore title and she gets slammed into a door by Christian, who then pins her for the hardcore title. And we go into Billy and Chuck defeating the APA, the Dudleys and the Hardys in 13 minutes 50 seconds in an elimination tag match. You enjoyed Billy and Chuck, didn't you? You look so good to me.
See, I watch wrestling and I think that I've seen everything. I thought last year I'd seen it all.
Yeah.
With the last one with the chicken and stuff. No.
The gay gimmick. Your first gay gimmick. Yeah. Pretty
I don't know
funny.
why I need it. Just have wrestlers.
Saliva play Dudley Boys to the Ring, playing a song that they don't sing. Then this match is really just boring. So boring. And which is so hard because two of the teams in this were in what we thought was an amazing match last year in the TLC.
Yeah.
3D on Bradshaw to eliminate the APA. There's a table set up outside. Stacey, who's with the Dudleys, gets up and she basically wiggles her arse on the ring apron, and then Jeff slaps it, kisses her, and then pushes her off the ring apron. Now I understand.
Shove.
Yeah, I understand the whole she's trying to distract them, but he really shoves her off that ring apron, you know, and he's the face. Then Devon's put through a table, and there's a swanton bomb from Jeff on Bubba, and the Dudleys are eliminated. And then it gets really quick. Jeff hits the swanton on Chuck, but Billy hits the famouser on Jeff. That only gets a 2 count, and then Billy comes in with a chair and hits Jeff. No, the championship, sorry, and hits Jeff for the 3 count. Which I didn't understand, because obviously they wanted it to have Billy and Chuck cheat to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why not just have him lose to the famouser? Why did then have him kick out for Billy to rush in and hit him with the championship? Bad booking. The NWO are backstage, and they're talking about Austin obviously beating Hall, and then they're discussing the Rock match, but Hogan tells them he wants to do it by himself, and we then go into the next match, which is The Rock defeating Hulk Hogan in 16 minutes 23 seconds, and there's a lot of hype for this match when you hear about it. Lots of people talk about it being a good match. This match stunk. I thought it stunk, and you know what? I would say that the major culprits, there's 2 major factors to this match stinking. 1, Hulk Hogan is not good in the ring. He's too old even in 2002. And 2, the crowd shits all over everything The Rock does and cheers Hogan.
It's ridiculous. If it happened to anybody else, they would have loved The Rock.
Yeah, even though Hogan is doing all the heel moves, they're cheering him. And I get the nostalgia act. I remember popping huge for Jake the Snake, and even if Jake had come out with a chair and smashed everyone with the chair, I'd still have cheered it. But this is WrestleMania, and Hogan is beating this guy with a belt, low blowing him, you know, throwing him into the ref, and he's still getting cheered.
If they know they do their research, Hulk's not exactly loyal. He's not exactly decent to the WWE outside of, you know, WrestleMania, let alone.
It's just, I didn't get it. Like, for instance, The Rock hits the 3 punches and then he goes for the lay the smackdown punch, yeah? And he does it to Hogan, and Hogan's obviously meant to flip over the top rope. Hogan can't do it. He goes to do it and just totally messes it up and then rolls under the ring, you know? And then Hogan misses with a big boot during the match. You know, Hogan is so sloppy. And to think that a year and a half ago he was in the main event for TNA, and that's like 10 11 years after this match, and even during this match he seemed sloppy.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because The Rock makes people look good. That's what he does best in the ring. He makes people look good.
They have to be half decent to work with him.
Yeah. I
said to you, like, Hulk is more of an icon. He's more of a figure and someone for everyone to love rather than a wrestler. He's not a decent wrestler.
Yeah, he's not a good wrestler.
He's not. I get that people get excited and, you know.
It's because it's one of those things that you have this nostalgia of, oh, I watched him as a kid, you know, I used to watch him as a child. Oh, I remember Hogan from Rocky. I remember Hogan from all the films.
Yeah.
You know, but then you watch him in the ring. If you actually watch the ring, yeah, and he's just, especially if you're in the ring with someone like The Rock, who is just, he's not the best in the ring. He's nowhere near the best in the ring, but he's good at what he does. He's good at his selling. He's good at entertaining. Hogan, I don't get it. I just have never got it about Hogan. What makes him so good?
The first time watching him, the first 2 WrestleManias, I was really excited about him. I thought I was going to love him, and to begin with, first I think it's like the first one I was like, yeah, it's really cool, and then wore thin really quickly.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I do not get it. Alright, so Hogan, Rock hits the rock bottom late on, and Hogan kicks out, and obviously we get the usual Hulk up, which I think is a major thing that I don't like about him. He hits the leg drop for the 2 count. Rock then hits. The same. Yeah, Rock hits the rock bottom, and then he picks him up again and hits a 3rd rock bottom, and then Rock does a kip up, which I actually said to you, I think he does it better than HBK. I really like the Rock's kip up, and then awesome. He hits the people's elbow for the win. He just beats Hogan. After the match, Hogan shakes the Rock's hand, and Rock leaves. That's when the NWO comes out, Hall and Nash, and they start to beat up Hogan. But then The Rock makes a save, and then they do the pose down. This is basically because I think WWE sort of realised that Hogan is still quite popular, and they couldn't have him as a heel. Little fact I didn't know, because whenever you get shown this match, you hear Lawler say, oh, we're never going to see Muhammad Ali against Mike Tyson, but we will see The Rock against Hogan. He actually doesn't say that in this match at all. Doesn't say it at all. So I don't know where they got that from.
I was pretty happy that Hulk lost, not just because I'm bored by him, but the fact that he wins everything.
Yeah,
it's boring, it's predictable. For him to come back, you think, oh, he's coming back, he's making his triumphant return, he's got to win. And he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for instance, if we took today, it's looking like it's Bray Wyatt against John Cena at WrestleMania. It would be like Bray Wyatt beating John Cena at WrestleMania. You're gonna pop because you're gonna expect Cena to win, you know. But if Bray does it to shock everyone, you know, so good. We then go into what I would like to say is our first really decent women's match in all of these reviews.
Yeah.
Jazz with the women's championship on the line, defeating Trish Stratus and Lita in 6 minutes 16 seconds. You've never seen Trish or Lita in the ring.
Yeah.
You've only seen them as valets. What did they live up to the hype that people give them?
I think I'd given myself big hype for Lita. I expected big things from her, and she did actually deliver. She did
the Hurricane Ranas, the top rope attacks.
She wrestles and this isn't to be insulting to her at all. It is a compliment. She wrestles like a man.
Yeah.
I think she's not afraid, and she was throwing herself.
She's like around. A third Hardy.
She's not delicate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's like a third.
Did she ever work with them?
Yeah, she was their manager for years, and she actually went out with Matt Hardy in real life before she cheated on him with Veg.
She did better later on.
Yeah, she cheated on him with Veg. So yeah, she definitely did.
I'm not too sure about Trish because I don't know. All I'd seen of her was just boobs before then, so I wasn't too sure.
Well, with Trish, this is the first WrestleMania year that we've had where she's in the ring. I mean, you can already see if you look at it from a technical point. Obviously, I love Trish and I love Lita. But if you look at it from a technical standpoint, she's not great, but you can see that there's something there already. And then there was moments in the match where it was Trish against Lita, and you could see something cool. Psychology-wise. You could see it's like the first time you see Rock and Austin sort of fight.
You can see there's something there.
Yeah,
something there that wasn't there before.
Yeah. I don't think we ever get a Trish Lita WrestleMania match, which is a shame, but. You know, cool you will start to see Trish quite a bit.
It's sad that we should have to say that this is good for a women's match. I mean, to be fair, I found it actually one of the most interesting matches of the night, which is pretty poor. It was one of the best.
Well, not only that, if you put it towards even today's wrestling standards, even if, I like AJ, but even if you take one of AJ's matches, this match was better than what we're used to.
Yeah, because AJ's usually fighting against somebody who can't wrestle.
Yeah.
But this is two people that can wrestle in the ring together who happen to be women as well.
Yeah, that's the problem with today's. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go on my soapbox, but that's the problem with women's wrestling today is Trish was a model, but she was a huge wrestling fan. And she wanted to learn to become a wrestler, and she became a wrestler.
She just so happens to be stunning.
Yeah, whereas today you have all those people that just want to, like the Bella twins, you know, they just want to be famous, you know. That's the difference. We then go into the main event, which is Triple H against Chris Jericho for the Undisputed Championship. As I said earlier, Triple H has just come back from the big injury. He's won the Royal Rumble, and the story of this match is that Steph is trying her best to stay on Triple H's side because obviously Triple H is the big good guy and he's really popular.
And carry on.
Carry on?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, oh, okay. And then what's happened is that Steph pretends to be pregnant, but she's not actually pregnant, and then she wants to do her wedding vows again, and oh god, the camera's moving. Sorry guys, sorry at home. I think the charger's come out of the camera, but I'll soldier on. I'll soldier on by myself. Yeah, and basically the Triple H and Steph are going to have their wedding vows on Raw. Triple H obviously finds out that she's not really pregnant, so she literally divorces her on screen, on TV, and we get like Steph hoping for revenge. Oh, nice of you to return. Planning revenge, and she is on Jericho's side for this major main event, and wants to help Chris Jericho defeat her soon-to-be ex-husband for the Undisputed Championship. So that's the story. Drowning Pool played Triple H to the ring, playing Motorhead song. Steph hits Triple H during the match and is lifted onto the apron, to which Jericho accidentally hits Steph and sends her flying. Triple H then pulls her into the ring and goes for the pedigree, but Jericho hits the drop kick. Steph keeps attacking, keeps getting involved in the match. Jericho drop kicks Triple H through backdrops Triple H through the announce table. Then Jericho hits the lion salt for Triple H to kick out the 2 count. Triple H goes for the pedigree, but Jericho reverses into the walls of Jericho. Triple H literally is in the walls of Jericho for ages and still gets to the ropes. Jericho seems to be bleeding from the mouth at this point. Steph goes to the ring apron and Jericho goes for the chair shot, but Triple H kicks it into Jericho's face, and then hits a DDT on the chair for a 2 count. Steph grabs the chair, but the referee stops her, so she pushes him, and then Triple H grabs her by the hair and hits the pedigree. Then Triple H turns into a chair shot from Chris Jericho to kick out, and then Jericho goes for the pedigree, but Triple H counters, catapults Jericho into the corner. Jericho lands on the corner, then jumps into a kick and the pedigree, and Triple H gets the win, basically taking everything that Jericho's got and beats him. That's called squashing. Well, not quite squashing, but yeah.
That's called Triple H and bad booking.
Is just basic Triple H booking. This whole match is all about Triple H and Steph.
We discussed
all
this,
about.
didn't we?
Yeah,
saying that
Jericho might as well have not been there. Could have been anyone there.
It's really, really cheapens it. Jericho's been given his shot to headline Wrestlemania main event, and it's just been wrecked because of a gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, this was nothing was in Jericho's favour in this one, because obviously they follow in The Rock and Hogan, which although we didn't like it, the crowd loved it, and the crowd were just tired and didn't really care about anything. They were even chanting Hogan during this match. And then obviously he's going against Triple H, who's coming back from an injury. Now, Jericho before this has been carrying the WWF with both titles. He's even defeated The Rock, he's defeated Stone Cold.
Oh, right.
You know, he's defeated The Undertaker by this point, you know. And then
cheapens it, doesn't it?
Obviously Triple H comes in and completely squashes him, which is basically, remember what I said about China in the last video? You know.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. I mean, Triple H takes the lion salt, he takes chair shots, he takes the walls of Jericho, he takes more chair shots, and he still kicks out. Triple H hits one pedigree on Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho's done. It is basically a John Cena match today.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
This is not good booking.
You know, it's just there to make Triple H look good. That's all it is. Which is a shame, because obviously we know that Chris Jericho is amazing. You know, I wasn't a fan of this match. I wasn't a fan of this WrestleMania. So let's get into awards. Match of the night.
Just because the matches that were potentially really good were always wrecked by something. The only match I watched and I consistently liked all the way through, even though I'm probably going to get shouted at by people on the interwebs, is the women's match.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, like, Hogan, no, I'm not doing that. Triple H wrecked that match. It's just... And I do apologise again that we did have difficulties and we couldn't actually physically watch some of the matches, but we did do our research and we've told you all about what happened.
Yeah, I think the only match that could have affected us in the ones that we couldn't watch was The Undertaker against Ric Flair. But
yeah, that potentially could have been I'm sure that was amazing, but it's it's the only time we've ever had some real problems watching the videos, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, I say the women's match.
I don't know, because I really liked RVD against William Regal. Maybe that was because it was the start of the night. But no, I actually think I might have to agree with you. I mean, I really love The Rock, but I just couldn't get into The Rock.
You can't give it because 50% of that match was bloody awful because of who else was in it.
Yeah, and then I think the crowd. I mean, I think a lot of people make it out that the crowd are really good in that match. I think the crowd actually are a negative in that match because it goes completely against the flow of the match. Completely against it. So yeah, I'd have to give it to the women's match as well because it's the only one I actually was paying attention properly. Wrestler of the night.
Wrestler of the night, I'm going to give to The Rock because of that match, he with Hogan, he had to carry the entire match. He was the strongest person. I kind of felt sorry for him because he worked so fucking hard, and yet he wasn't appreciated by the crowd just because there was a celebrity in the ring.
Yeah.
And we know how amazing he can be, so yeah, give it to him.
Yeah, no, same here. Definitely The Rock. Because he's carrying someone who can't actually...
It's insane. His reputation is literally... You've got a guy who's working, busting, going crazy and working 110% to make the celebrity look as good as his, reputation.
Yeah, basically.
That's disgrace.
Yeah. Did you have a moment, WrestleMania moment?
When it ended? No, I can't think of anything. Like, normally, like when we watch The Undertaker, there's a moment in that match, so maybe again that could have been it, but that doesn't count. I don't really know. I don't really think there was.
I think you've got to give it. I personally have got to give it to The Rock and Hogan face off.
Okay.
Just because it's meant to be
the promo was good.
Yeah, it's meant to be two icons facing off against each other.
Yeah.
That'll be actually the one I give it. Overall rating.
3.
3. I'm gonna be harsh. I'm gonna give it 2. One match I was actually half interested in, and that wasn't because I was being a perv at all.
No. It was actually really good wrestling.
It was ruined. Like, that Chris Jericho can have a great match, but it was ruined by ego. You could say that the Rock and Hogan match was ruined by both.
Was ruined by ego as well.
And the crowd. It wasn't good, and there was so much filler in this match, which is astounding when you think that they got one of the best rosters going.
Yeah.
I know they had a lot of injuries because obviously Benoit was injured. Austin isn't firing on all cylinders because he's not great, but fucking do something with the people you've got.
It's like, we haven't got anyone to book, so we'll throw all of our money and get 2 massive bands in. Could have just had 1, to be fair. We'll get 2, and we'll get them to play a few songs.
Yeah, well, that was WrestleMania 18, which I thought Rock and Hogan was better than what I remember, but I'm guessing I'm not wearing rose-tinted glasses anymore. So that was 18. We're moving on to 19, which is one of my favourites. The next 2 are 2 of my favourites of all time.
So anyway, is up.
Yeah. Would you like to hear a little bit about WrestleMania 19?
Yeah, let's get excited after that.
There is another band playing at WrestleMania 19. Limp Bizkit.
Really?
Limp Bizkit play.
Awesome.
So guess who they played at the ring? What's the Undertaker's theme music? Yeah. And we have a lot of good matches. I think there's good match after good match, but we've got 4 main events, 4 huge main events.
Go on.
Okay, I'll start with Hogan versus Vince McMahon in a street fight.
Again.
Yeah.
Is he back for a while?
This is the next one. I think will be his last WrestleMania for a while. But Hogan versus Vince McMahon in a street fight. We then have Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is back at WrestleMania 19. He faces off against Chris Jericho.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We then get
Ooh.
the third and final Rock versus Austin match, the last one, and then the main event is WrestleMania debut Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle,
Brock
the
Lesnar.
WWE champion. What?
Something you said Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle in the main event for the WWE
That's
championship.
actually going to be really good, I reckon.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh.
But
I bet it's like a 2-minute match. Well, we'll see.
it's WrestleMania main event. It's not going to be 2 minutes. Come on, think about it. But yeah, 4 big matches. We've also got Undertaker's going to be there. Triple H is going to be there. Booker T. You know, we're going to get all kinds of matches. All kinds.
All kinds.
Yeah. Only way's up. So I was Bingham. That's Chipmunk. That was Forks. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how much you hate us, because we didn't fall all over ourselves to enjoy Rock against Hogan. Tell us we were wrong and that this WrestleMania is the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Didn't enjoy it.
Tell us we're arseholes because we couldn't watch 3 of the matches. It's fine. We don't mind. We'll be back tomorrow with WrestleMania 19, which I think a few of the matches you might enjoy. So we'll see you tomorrow, WrestleMania 19.
Do it.
See you later.
See you later.